Now, it kind of dawned to me that we had never covered Ultimate Black Panther issue number 9, which honestly, that is okay because issue number 10 had just came out today. And really, the two issues go together very well because we're now going to sit down and talk about the possibility of the Sorcerer Supreme in the Ultimate Marvel Universe. Now, you would think like, okay, we're getting Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange in this reality. Well, it's somebody else taking up that mantle as Doctor Strange in this reality as the Sorcerer of Supreme. But getting into Ultimate Black Panther issue number 9, we pick up with Killmonger and also Storm. Now remember, these two guys were assigned by T'Challa to find a powerful sorcerer to bring down their enemy. Of course, that would be Ra and Khonshu. And so we see our two characters right now in Eastern Europe. Now we see them trying to break into a facility. Now, before they do, we get the idea that for Storm, she's kind of done with helping out Wakanda and also T'Challa. But for Killmonger, he's all like, no, we can't stop. We gave our word to him that we would help. And so we have to help to the very end. Either way, you do have our two heroes begin the process of just trying to break into the actual facility by taking out the different guards who are up there surrounding the building. Now, after being able to do that, when it comes time for our hero to find the best way inside, out of nowhere, every single person that was guarding that place, every single person that was working inside that place is just shot out the different windows of the building, just falling from the sky all around Killmonger and Storm. And they're kind of like, what in the world is going on? Now, we do learn that they came here to free somebody who is a sorcerer who could help out T'Challa. But it does seem like right now that sorcerer may not need their help at all. It does seem like that sorcerer is trying to break free. Now, for our two heroes, it's kind of like a horror scene because you have the two heroes walk into the facility to find this sorcerer. But as they go deeper and deeper to the facility, they find more and more dead bodies to kind of show how powerful but dangerous this sorcerer could actually be. Now, once you do have our heroes go deeper down into the actual building, they begin to hear a voice. And you have this person ask Killmonger, are you a friend? And you have them say yes, but we also bring opportunity. And the person says, I don't believe you. And so we're kind of left to believe that this sorcerer could be a very dangerous person to release out into the world. But now we have to jump over to West Africa. Now, when we do, we pick up with Khonshu. Now, this is Khonshu trying to build up an army of people to use against Wakanda. Because in the Ultimate Marvel universe, when it comes to Wakanda, over the years, they did not try to help out the other nations around them. And really, when it comes to the Ultimate Marvel universe, it's very similar to the main Marvel universe Wakanda, where in that reality, Wakanda's all like, listen, we can only care for ourselves, and that's really it. The other nations around us will try to help when we can, but for right now, we only care for Wakanda. But over in the Ultimate Marvel universe, it's very similar, but a tad bit more aggressive, where they're kind of like, listen, we only care for ourselves and we don't care at all for the other nations around us. But that's the problem right there, because it's well known across Africa that Wakanda does have great resources that could possibly help out the other nations around them, but they're not trying to help out those other nations around them. And so for Khonshu, he's being able to build up an army of people who have been suffering for years to try to use their suffering as a way to be violent and attack Wakanda to get what he wants from Wakanda. Now, in the crowd of people, T'Challa is there, and T'Challa is seeing that there's more and more people joining Khonshu's side, because now it's T'Challa realized that Wakanda was wrong for what they have done over the years, not helping out the other nations around them. But he now knows that sooner or later, all these people around him are going to be used in a war against him and his nation. But now it's time for us to get into the ending of the 9th chapter, where we do pick up with Killmonger and Storm still continuing to walk deeper into the facility. Now, while they're doing that, you have Killmonger still talking to the person who's just speaking words in the air, whispering in the air, saying like, hey, I know who you are. You're Killmonger. She's Aurora. I know everything about you guys, but why are y'all here for? And you have Killmonger say, because somebody we know needs your help. Now, this person is basically using the dead bodies around Killmonger and Aurora to speak to our heroes. But you do have this person say, I needed help for 3 years, but no one came to help me at all. Now, for our heroes, they just continue to go deeper and deeper into the facility. And when they walk into the cell of the sorcerer, they find her. It's not Stephen Strange at all. It's somebody else. But this person right here is supposedly the Sorcerer Supreme, who could possibly help Wakanda in its war against Khonshu and Ra. Now, as you all know, when it comes to the Ultimate Marvel Universe, this time around in Marvel Comics, each issue is 1 month of real time in that reality. So, for example, when it came to issue number 9, it took place in October. Issue 10 takes place in, well, November. And so, as we get into the opening pages of issue number 10, we actually see Khonshu on the run. And it does seem like Khonshu is severely injured. And we kind of find out it's because of T'Challa. Now, we're kind of left to believe that, well, some time has passed by, it's got to the point where T'Challa decided to go ahead and attack Khonshu head on to basically kill him off. And matter of fact, at the end of this section, we see Black Panther killing off Khonshu. And so at first, it's kind of like, oh, that's it for the whole Khonshu storyline? Are we now going in a different direction with Ultimate Black Panther? But no, we're not. Because we kind of find out that right now T'Challa is having some kind of nightmare. And really, we see him talking to a shadow-like character. Now, this shadow-like character is, well, technically talking down to T'Challa, but the whole idea of him trying to use vibranium or to fully understand the metal. Now, for T'Challa, he believes that he does not need vibranium. And really, when he says that, you have this creature say, those are some strong words, that you believe that you don't need vibranium. If that's the case, then free yourself of your past. Free yourself of vibranium. And so you had T'Challa begin to try to break his suit off of him. But while doing that, we see that he is literally ripping off skin off his face. And so it's kind of like this nightmare is just getting worse and worse. But then T'Challa wakes up. But once you have T'Challa wake up from his nightmare, he's then confronted by Okoye, his wife. Now, as we saw in the earlier chapters of Ultimate Black Panther, when it comes to Okoye and also T'Challa, their relationship is not one of the strong ones. Like, it's on the very edge of just falling apart. And so right now you have Okoye expressing that she is worried about her husband. He left in the middle of the night and woke up screaming on his throne. She wants to know what is wrong with him. Now, for T'Challa, he's not telling her the entire truth about his dreams. The only part he tells her is when he kills off Khonshu at the end. And so for Okoye, she's saying, when you suffer, it's not just yourself. Wakanda suffers. I suffer. Your sister suffers. You need to let us in and tell us what is wrong. But he's not trying to. But in his mind right now, that early part of his dream makes him believe that he is winning this war. And sooner or later, he should win the entire war because the dream showed him that he has killed off Khonshu over and over and over again. But now we have to jump over to Killmonger and also Aurora. Now you have those two characters technically on their way over to Wakanda, back over to Africa by using a boat. But they do have that sorcerer with them. And we do learn her name. Now, I had to use Google to try to figure out how to pronounce the name. And there is a possibility it is pronounced Enen. And I really hope that is correct. But for Enen, she does not try to explain her actual origin. All we know is that you have different people out there, people of science, who don't fully understand the whole idea of magic. And they hate the idea of magic. And so that was one reason why she was locked up. The other reason why, because she was trying to use magic to bring down a warlord. And that was a huge problem. But you do have Enen go ahead and show off some of her ability to storm. Now for Storm, she's beginning to like the character. Matter of fact, she likes the idea the character brings chaos into the world. But the way you have chapter 10 or issue number 10 in for today's video, while you have our heroes having their conversation with the origin of Enan, out of nowhere you have more of those guys who are trying their best to keep her locked up reappear on a helicopter and trying to shoot at our heroes. Now Storm was able to get out of the way. For Enan, she was able to protect herself, but Killmonger, he got shot, so he's down right now. But you do have Enan being able to use her magic to take down her enemies. But right after doing that, we see her being able to use her magic to heal up Killmonger just like that. And so then she does change her outfit, look kind of very similar to Doctor Strange, but then open up a portal to allow her and the rest of the heroes to get back to Africa at a faster rate. And that ends issue number 10. Which means this is the end for today's video. So with that being said, guys, please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.